So today our lesson is about the uh, organization structure. So there are three types of structure. One is supportive, then controlling, and then directive. So supportive means they only provide template, training, or lesson learned. For example, when you join any new organization, they will give you Excel sheet or how to maintain a respectful workplace or any type of lesson learned. And controlling means the organization control and govern various types of projects. It is supportive has the low power and controlling has the compared to supportive it has more power, then directive has the high power. So power means degree of control, how they control the project. So directive means, for example, the project management office, they recruit the project manager. Also they decide different critical decision for the project being successful or not. So they also accountable for the project success or failure, and they directly manage the project. So they are more powerful than this one. And when you will in the mock test, I find some question mainly on the controlling. So they are saying that the organization is provide different types of project management tools, but they also had the governance on the projects. Select which type of organization is this. So if they provide different tools and also have the moderate control, that means it is controlling. Yeah, and if they say that they have less control and they are providing different template, best practice, or lesson learned, then that will be supporting. And the directive one is the high level control over the project. So supportive, controlling, and then directive. And there are some keyword like if you say that assigned by the office, that means directive, and controlling is this one. Okay, can we go next one?
Sure.
All right. So there are some questions. When I take the mock test, these are the questions. I don't. You can read it. I made lots of mistakes when I start the mock test. Right now we are not going there, but this one is I got it from a YouTube video. They are saying that which match each of the following change request with their correct scenario or definition. So you last time we discussed about the different change request scenario.
Yes.
Yeah. So corrective action, it is deals with that deliverable produced does not meet two of the requirement as mentioned in the requirements document. And defect repair, always deals with the end user. You know that defect repair means if something happened in the deliverables, then we have to go for the defect repair. And update is not the scenario, but in the question they provide also update. So update means all approved changes should be updating. This is the keyword. And then preventive action, training, testing, or changing the leaderships.
Inspection, yeah.
Preventive action, yeah. So these are the keyword that you can catch. Okay. So this one is important. So there is a question that there are two types of reserve fund. One is contingency reserve, and another is management reserve.
Mm-hmm.
So contingency reserve is for the risk management, and management reserve means if something happened, or management they put some money beyond the project budget. So like when you see the WBS, so in the WBS, first we calculate activity cost, and then we add some contingency reserve with all of the activity. For example, when we calculate purchasing paint, we also add some risk or contingency reserve. For example, the required painting is 2 liter, but we calculate that okay, there may be waste of paint or something, then we purchase 3 liter. 1 liter is for the contingency. So each of the activity we are adding some of the risk money. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand.
Okay, so we add each of the activity, we add some contingency reserve.
Right.
When we add all of them, then it comes to work package cost estimate. Work
Okay.
package means um, it is above the activity. So each activity is belong to work package, and
Mm-hmm.
above the work package, we again add some contingency reserve.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes to control account. So
Okay.
control account means they are controlling the work package.
Mm-hmm.
And then this control account, when it gives the cost baseline, and with the management reserve, it becomes the project budget. So in here you can see this I mean here. So cost estimate, then
Mm-hmm.
contingency reserve, it gives the cost baseline, and
Okay.
with the cost baseline uh, and adding the management reserve, it will give the project budget.
Okay.
So the question will be in here, like, um, is the management reserve above or below the cost baseline? Above, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And another thing is that there will be maybe questions like project budget equals management reserve plus contingency reserve plus activity cost,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay. And one more question, there may be some like a project manager, um, they already estimate the project budget, and at the end there is a known risk happened.
Mm-hmm.
Project manager, he wants to add more money. He sent a request to the sponsor for the adding money. Is he in the um, is he guiding by the PMI rules or not? He's not, because this is known risk. We already add some contingency reserve
Right.
for each
Mm-hmm.
of the activity because of the risk, right? So we do not need to add money again.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying that, for example, I said that, okay, for the painting, we need 2 liter, but for the risk, we add already 3 liter. And at the end, when all everything is done, we are saying that there may be something risk, we need to add 1 more liter. Is it viable? No, it's not
No,
viable,
no, it's not. Yeah.
because we
Because you
all
already added one extra.
right, yeah. So management reserve usually for the unknown risk. Something is happening and it is beyond our control. Then we
Mm-hmm.
bring the management reserve.
Okay.
One more question from here. If you want to use management reserve, then you have to bring this fund under the cost baseline.
Mm-hmm.
There is a policy. It's like there is no policy. It's like some procedure. If you want to use management reserve, then you have to transfer this fund to the below the cost baseline,
Right.
and you can use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So management reserve is something which is deals with the unknown
Unknown
risk,
risk.
right? And contingency reserve deals with the
Known risk.
known risk. Good.
Got it.
Okay. Next one is project management organizational structures. So we have three types of structure: functional, matrix, and projectized. From the keyword, you already get that projectized means this type of organization, they are more project oriented, right? So when the organization is project oriented, the project manager authority in this organization is more comparable to the functional organization. This is the power level. So project manager power is
More in the projectized
strong in here
organization, yes.
and less in here.
Mm.
And on the contrary, functional manager authority is
More
strong
in
in
the functional organization.
here and weak in here. You see? So um, so in the matrix organization, there are three types of matrix. Weak matrix, that means functional manager is more dominating compared to the project manager.
Mm-hmm.
Balanced matrix, in here functional manager and project manager, they have 50-50 power.
Mm-hmm.
And strong matrix, in here project manager has the more power compared to the functional manager,
Mm-hmm.
and project is already. So there may be some questions like matrix organization, it deals with the both functional manager and project manager. It's kind of complex structure. So in the functional manager, they usually recruit resources. Resource means staff. If
Mm.
you need any team member, you need to go for the functional manager in the matrix organization. So for example, project manager, he's requesting two team member to the functional manager.
Mm-hmm.
And if in the balance matrix, functional manager can neglect his request or he can accept it. But in the strong matrix, functional manager is weak in terms
We
of the
cannot neglect, he has to fulfill the requirement.
right. So in that case, project manager can negotiate with the functional manager.
Mm-hmm.
So there are lots of mock test question. I find it that okay, project manager he request five or five team members, but the functional manager he is saying that the team members will not be available. He can give maximum two. What is the next scenario the project manager should do? Negotiation. He can talk with the functional manager. When he will make the negotiation, he should bring the schedule, then resource, work background structure,
Mm-hmm.
then resource allocation, some kind of document that he need to bring with him to negotiate the functional manager.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And projectized organization, PM is the everything.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next one is again some. This is the functional organization,
Organization.
the organization,
Mm-hmm.
and projectized.
Projectized organization.
So as you can see, C-level executive, this one the C-level, and in the functional manager in here, under the functional manager, the staffs are oriented.
Right.
Staffs are reporting to the functional manager, and project manager has less power. On the other hand, projected organization, the staffs are reporting to the functional manager, as you
Project
can see,
manager.
right? And um, weak matrix, you can see still functional manager is dominating, but in here, project manager has some staff
Right.
in their team. Yeah, but still they are weak. Only
Mm.
one staff, and
Mm.
he also belongs to functional manager. That means he is
Mm.
reporting to manager, functional manager, and project manager. And balance metrics, as you can see, functional manager, functional manager, functional manager.
Can you give an example of the functional sector and the projectized?
Uh, this one.
Any example?
Okay. So
Like
functional
in what type
manager.
of organization it's like functional, what type of like a projectized?
Okay. So I can, for example, in the government organization, there are different departments. Some deals with the finance, some deals with the HR, some deals with the transportation or environment or anything like that. So in that case, there are different silo under the organization. Silo means each of the department has their different function, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if I work under the engineering department, I do
Mm-hmm.
not need to take care of the finance department work,
Right.
right?
That is functional
Yeah,
scenario, right?
yeah. So functional means the department they
Each
divide
has different own department which looks after only their own,
based on the function,
right? Okay, own
right?
functions, yes.
Own function, right?
Mm.
Yeah. And on the other hand, projectized organization means the whole organization is based on the project. So the employees they are not committed to any types of department. They are committed to only the project, only the project manager. So if there is an unique project, the project manager feels that a resource or an employee will be more useful for that project, he can negotiate another project
Right.
manager and bring the staff to his
Got
group. On the other hand, functional manager, he cannot bring the finance in the engineering department.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in the projectized, the employee can switch.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes people say that projectized organization, there is no home for the staff because the staff are moving uh,
Yeah.
one project manager to another. But in the functional, they have some home. They can say that okay, I'm working engineering department. Maybe my career will be engineering, and I have home. I have after when the project is finished, I do not need to worry about my job.
Mm-hmm.
I can continue my work. Something
Right.
like
Got it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the organization, for example, in the balance and strong one. So for example, engineering department, they again divided it to um, engineering of operations or say construction or say maintenance. So again, there are some functional manager and then project manager. So each employee have to report both project manager and then functional manager.
Functional manager.
And a strong manager, a strong matrix means both functional manager and project manager has the staff. They can control over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And PMO means project management
Project
office.
management office, yes.
Right. So PMO, the project manager, they
Mm.
they report to the PMO office,
Mm.
PMA directive.
Got it.
All right. So I think you are clear about it.
Yeah.
Now we are going to. Uh, it's called resource management. So resource management means something like that. For example, you are taking a project and you have a deadline, for example, 1 month, but you are calculate that based on the team member you have currently, each team member have to work 12 hours, 13 hours to complete the project in 1 month. Can
Mm-hmm.
you agree with that? No, we cannot, because each team member has their family time,
Yeah,
their
of
mental
course, yes.
satisfaction,
Mm-hmm.
or sometimes they are thinking different things, personal issue, professional issue, something like that.
Mm.
So although they are committed to work 8 hours, we cannot give the 8 hours work. Definitely, we can give their 5 hours or 6 hours. They can
Mm.
rest 3 hours, or they can have some spaces,
Right.
or they can have the communication with the team members, or taking some continuing education, or thinking creatively, something like that. And so this called resource smoothing. And resource leveling means, sometimes you feel that some of the team members has more workload than others. So in the resource leveling, what we do, we level the uh, workload. So
Okay.
we are taking some of the work and giving the work to other team members, or distributing the work in another day. For example, in week one, sorry, in here, so in week one, we are saying that these employee have to work more than 50 hours, and then week two these hours, and week three something like that, week seven 45 hours. So we are setting a threshold value that each week the worker should work 45 hours. So what we are doing, we are taking this workload and distribute it somewhere in here in the gap.
Mm-hmm.
It's called resource leveling. So we are giving a threshold value and cutting this workload and
Right.
evenly. So sometimes, so what we do, if the workload is getting more, then it is taking additional days. That means it is affecting the critical
Right.
path. It is
Yeah.
extending the duration, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Got it.
resource leveling, it affects critical path,
Mm-hmm.
and it has a chance to increase the duration.
Okay.
And for the resource smoothing, what are you doing? We set up optimum value is 45 hours, and we are saying that maybe worker cannot work 45 hours. They have something in their personal life, so we are saying that 38 hours.
Okay.
Then you see, we are bringing some of the work in this gap.
Right. Yeah.
In this gap.
It's
So
like
it's
more productivity in those hours rather than
right. Yeah, like
resource
some kind
leveling.
of
In
smooth.
smoothing, we are, yeah, using more, doing work more productive than the resource leveling.
Yeah, you can also feel in your current work, like some days in Monday and Tuesday you are working very hard,
Yeah.
and on Friday the work pressure is not that much.
Got
On
it.
Thursday, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next one is the fast tracking and crashing. This is the most important thing. I got like 2 or 3 questions in the
Oh,
exam,
wow.
and in mock test you will get a lots of question on that.
Mm-hmm.
So fast tracking means, so for example, a sponsor is requesting project manager to cut the duration to 1 month. For
Okay.
example, the project, we say that we will complete the project in 6 months, but one of the stakeholder, he comes and say that you have to complete the project in 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
So we have two options. One option is fast tracking. Fast tracking means we will do some of the work in parallel. For example, um, renting equipment.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, we are uh, we are purchasing some of the softwares.
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of work is parallel. Or for say you are designing the software, at the same time you can work some of the design component, some of the coding component. While
Mm-hmm.
design is complete, you can also do the parallel things. But
Okay.
in the fast tracking there are some risk. The risk means, some example, in the design you are saying that okay, this may be this one, this may be this one, and at the end you are finding that this process have some bugs or have some issue, then you have to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So on the other team, those are working parallelly. They have also do the same thing. That means there is a chance of doing the work twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is a may result in rework and
Right.
increased risk. Yeah, so
Got it.
uh, in that case, no additional resource are employed. That means if there is less resource, you are spending less money, right? On the other hand, crashing means you are bringing more people to do more works.
What did the resource? The, yeah.
So that means right now you have 5 team members, and you are saying that okay, to complete the project in 4 months, I need 3 more members in our team. So 8 members, if they work, then they can complete the works in 4 months. Because they are bringing new members, that means they have to pay the salary. That means
Right.
your cost is going to high.
Right.
So there is a result in increased cost. Cost mostly increase as there is of additional resources.
Right.
Okay, so it does not matter if activities overlap or not, and additional resources are employed, no additional resources are employed.
Mm-hmm.
Here there is an example. So in here, this is the week 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 week, and this is the normal schedule. Then each week there is only one staff.
Right.
Yeah. For example, this is Josh, this is Smith, this is Gary. They are
Mm.
So for the fast tracking, what are you doing? You are overlapping these Josh and
Activities.
Gary's work, and they are bringing on this. So
Right.
they are crushing the work. They are
Mm-hmm.
reducing the duration in 3 weeks. They can complete in ninth week.
Okay.
And crashing, on the other hand, crashing, they are deploying
People.
more people in there. You see, there is
Yeah.
two. That means they are
Mm-hmm.
giving more people in there, so
Yeah.
they can complete the work in eighth week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that means the question will be like that. They will give you the CPI index and SPI index.
Okay.
So one thing remember that if CPI index and SPI index is more than one, it is good health. It indicates your project is in good health. If it is less than one, it indicates that your project is behind budget and behind schedule.
Okay.
Okay. Again,
Mhm.
if it is greater than one, that means your project is within the
What
budget.
is greater than one? What is the term?
CPI, cost
CPI.
performance
Okay.
index,
Cost performance index. Okay. Cost performance
right?
index. Got it.
And another is schedule performance
Okay.
index SPI.
Okay.
This is the most critical thing. I'm saying that you will obviously get a question on that.
Right.
SPI and CPI, if it is one
Mm-hmm.
and greater than one, that it means your project is within budget and
Okay.
within ahead of schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, if it is less than one, that means your project is over budget and behind schedule.
Oh, less than one means behind schedule and over budget. And
Over
it's greater than one, then it's in budget and it's like on schedule,
on
ahead
schedule,
of schedule.
ahead of schedule, right? So, for
Mm.
example, there is a question like that. They give CPI equals to 0.95,
Okay.
0.95, and also they give the SPI. Um, okay, SPI equals to 0.99, 0.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, which one should you follow to crashing and fast tracking? So you have to remember that crashing always related to the additional cost,
Right.
right? So in that case, CPI, your CPI is 0.95. That means it is uh, over budget project,
Okay.
right? You already spend lots of money.
Yeah, so you
So,
cannot do crashing because it's as such over budget.
right. You cannot do crashing. You have to select the fast tracking.
Fast tracking. Okay.
Means you have to bring some of the work in parallel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the question will be like that. They will give you two index, and then they will say that which one should we follow based on that. You have
Okay.
to remember that it is one, it is less than one or greater than one. Then if they say that cost is the project already over
Mm-hmm.
budget, then which one should you follow?
Okay.
Fast tracking, not the crashing.
We will do questions at the end, right?
Yeah, there will be a question.
No, maybe we will be doing it right at the end.
Crashing,
We will be doing more questions at the end, right? We will be
right?
practicing
Yeah.
more questions. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And next one is the component of risk. So there are three component. One is probability, that means P, probability of risk event, and I means impact of risk event value, and the relationship between the component. So, for example, um, someone is going for the hunting, and there are lots of wild animal on there. Also, there will be a chance of tigers, lions, something like that. So the probability of having tigers is around 2%, but if a tiger come, the impact will be 100%. That means you will lose your life, right?
Yeah.
So some of the risk has the impact value very much, but probability will do zero or something less. But
Mm-hmm.
some of the risk has the probability high and impact is less. For example, if I say that, um, how can I say that? Oh, less impact project. Uh, okay, so for example, when a new newborn baby he wants to walk, so there is 100% that he will fall down, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But when he fall down, there is a chance of having breakdown his organs, but
Mm-hmm.
the impact usually they don't have that much
Right.
breakdown, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is not the ideal example, but something like
But
that.
I got the idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So if someone say that okay, there is a 50% of probability, and impact will be like 60% of something money value, they will give you some money value, 50% of $20,000, and impact will be 30% of $60,000. Then what is the risk? Then it will be
Mm-hmm.
multiplication, probability multiply
Multiply
impact.
the impact of risk.
Right. Yeah, it will be the multiplication. So there is another question in here. Um, so they give in the mock test they give some of the graphs, and saying that A B C D something. So
Mm-hmm.
project they are giving some kind of curvilinear graph, and lifetime. For example, project start from 1 month, and it is ending 3 years. So they are asking when the risk is most,
Mm-hmm.
when there is highest risk and when there is lowest risk. So the highest risk usually start of the project, and lowest risk is the end of the project, right? So start of the project means, for example, um, you are gauging that something we are expecting this type of outcomes. So there are always it may be happen or it could be happen,
There
something
is
like
more uncertainty at the start of the
more
project
uncertainty,
of
right?
the
But at
outcome.
the end of the
Got it. At the end
project,
of the project, you know where it's going and you know what will be the outcome then. So there's, okay, the risk is lower. Gotcha.
yeah. So also this is same thing. If there is a cost graph, usually cost is lowest at the
Starting of the project.
project, and
Yeah,
it is high at the end of the project.
that on the project, yes.
Yeah. So cost and risk they are reverse. Risk
Right.
is high at the start
That.
and low at the end. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And we already studied this one.
Yes, we have done this.
Okay. So risk breakdown structure. It's called RBS, risk breakdown structure. So this is if someone ask about risk breakdown structure, you can imagine some things like that. That there may be external, organizational, project management, technical things like that. So it is not the important one, but just want to I want to show that
Mhm.
the risk
Yeah,
breakdown structure can be like that. So
right.
project management, something like that, you may estimate less than the budget one, maybe the required budget one. For example, the project needs to complete $3 million, but somehow you estimate $2 million. Then there is still a risk, right?
Yeah.
Also controlling communication, there may be good communication, bad
Hmm.
communication, something like that. Then external subcontractor, maybe they will perform better or not perform, something like that. Maybe they will lose their market,
Hmm.
regulatory market, customers, something like that. Yeah, this is the breakdown of the structure. Usually each organization have a prompt list of risk, like they have the predefined risk, and when they start a project, this type of risk already they include the risk list in their risk management plan.
Hmm. Right.
Okay, next one is the
SWOT
SWOT
analysis.
analysis. So SWOT analysis is one of the method for the risk identification. Yeah, identify risk. There is an SWOT analysis. You will find some questions that in the identification risk, what are the what method should we follow? SWOT analysis. There
Okay.
are different methods, but SWOT analysis is one of them.
Okay.
So SWOT means I can go next one. You can find this one. Okay. SWOT means uh, S means strength, W means
Weakness,
weakness, O means
opportunities, and
opportunity, and
threats.
T means threats. And in here, so strength and opportunity, obviously these are the helpful one,
Mm-hmm.
and weakness and threat are the harmful one.
Mm-hmm.
So this is helpful and harmful. And in here, strength and weakness, this is the internal origin. That means it is within the organization. And for
Mm-hmm.
the external origin, it will be opportunity and threat.
Right.
Okay, so strength means if for example one company um, they wants to make a phone, they have to find out their strength. For example, iPhone has a very good strength on the iOS. So and also iPhone, uh, to compete other opponent, they have to come up with some other projects. Now iPhone is saying that they will make some car like Tesla, so they have to find out something in their organizations. And threat means if some good competitor they come and they are saying that I will make phone better than the iPhone,
Mm-hmm.
that will be the
Yeah,
threat.
it's a threat. Yeah.
And weakness means if there is less skilled people or less technology or something like that. These are the weakness. So yeah,
Sorry, can you give me 1 minute?
okay. So the next one is we already studied, but there is an overview. So there is a project manager roles, and then there is functional, weak matrix, strong matrix, and projectized one. So functional project manager's authority is very little, and in the
Yeah.
project it is high. Same resource availability for the functional, they have little, and in the project they has total. And then budget control, functional manager, and in here it is project manager. These are the list.
Right.
Okay, so the next one is it is the approach, predictive, iterative, agile, sorry, incremental and agile. This chart is very important one.
Okay.
You will find a lots of question on that.
Mm-hmm.
So predictive means you know the um, outcome. For
Okay.
example, you are building a house, two-bedroom house, um, and some veranda or something. So you already know that output will be like that. That means requirement is fixed.
Right.
And iterative, iterative means the goal of this iterative is correctness of solution. For example, um, someone is saying that I will develop some software which will respond very little. They will take very little responding time. Like it is fast, or like
Mm-hmm.
Windows. It has very good operating system. If you click on it, it can operate. So they mainly focus on the correctness of solution.
Right.
And incremental means it depends on the speed. For
Mm-hmm.
example, you are giving the client some kind of delivery incrementally. For example, you finish foundation, then you
Mm-hmm.
finish basement, something like that, incremental.
Right.
Yeah. And agile means it is the requirement is dynamic. You do not know how the outcome will be. For example, in the most of the research project, um, for example, if someone said that they wants to make an automated vehicle, right now it is very complex.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be successful, it cannot be successful.
Yeah.
There are certain that it can be happen. So this
Mm-hmm.
type of complex project, it is agile project.
Got it.
So in here, the requirement means the outcome. Predictive one you already know, fixed, and the
Fixed.
rest of them are dynamic. It can be changed, it cannot be changed, something like that. And activities. So for the predictive, you are performing once for the entire project because you already plan, then execute it, control it. So you perform only one time.
Right.
Iterative means you are repeating until it comes the
Correct.
correct solution. Yeah, and incremental means you are performing once for a given increment. That means you are giving smaller, frequent smaller delivery.
Okay.
And agile, repeat until correctness. Delivery, this one is single delivery. Iterative, single delivery. Smaller delivery.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is this one is manage cost, and this one is the correctness of solution.
Okay.
Incremental is the speed,
Mm.
and agile is the customer value satisfaction,
Yeah.
customer value, frequent deliveries,
Okay.
and feedback. So there could be some scenario question. For example, a sponsor, he defined the requirement, but the requirement is not defined clearly. It has some dynamic requirement, and he wants very smaller delivery within 2 or 3 months, and he give that the project should complete as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Which approach should you select? Which one?
Incremental.
Incremental. Because why?
Because he wants the speed
Speed.
as well and smaller deliveries.
Right, you're good. Yeah. So I got a question on that speed.
Oh, okay.
And for the iterative, remember that it is rely on the correctness of solution. If some question realize that okay they want the solution or they want the quality 100%, then which
Then
project you can
iterative.
select? Iterative.
It's more focused on the quality.
Right. And in the agile it may be question like that. Customer, the focus of the project is the customer satisfaction, and the customer will give the feedback.
Then it's
At the same
agile.
time, yeah, the project is complex, hybrid, or it needs smaller delivery, agile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know the predictive one. Okay, next one is the work performance, data, information, and report. You will get one question from it. I found lots of more question from here. So, work performance, data, information, and report. There are three things. Data means when the worker work in the execution phase, um, they they generate raw data, raw observation data. For example, they are saying that there are five change requests, or there are three quality issue, or worker work 60 hours or less than something. So this is the raw data, and each day they generate a raw data. But if the project is 1 year, then there will be lots of data per day, right? So in the work performance information, what they do, they analyze all the data and bring some context or graph or some relationship to the area. For example, there is a relationship with the cost and the performance. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you give more incentive to the worker, their performance gets higher, something like that, some relationship work.
Mm-hmm.
And the report will say that something very minimized, say that okay, the project is 20% below the budget, or it is ahead of schedule or behind schedule, or
Mm-hmm.
there should be the performance issue, something like that. It will give you very minimum information to the stakeholder.
Okay.
And there are some example. So work performance report is status report, memo, justifications, information wrote, electronic database, recommendation, and information is the status of delivery, status for change request, forecast, something like that. And this one is number of change request, number of
Mm-hmm.
actual cost, actual
Mm-hmm.
duration, something like that. This is the raw data.
Yeah.
So there can be a question like uh, you are doing some status update meeting, and
Mm-hmm.
the senior stakeholder, he wants a report, sorry, he wants to know what are the project status.
Mm-hmm.
Which one should you provide to him? Work performance data or information or report? Which one?
Information.
No, report. Report always
Oh,
summarize.
even status reports. Okay, okay, yeah,
Right.
yeah, of course, of course, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking status of delivery. Okay,
Exactly.
yeah, he wants status reports, then yes, work performance reports.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he do not need to know about the information,
Yes.
different relationship. He only need to know is it project
Mm-hmm.
within the budget or out of budget, or what are the issues, anything that need to make any suggestion or decision, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And another thing with that, There is another question. It's called milestone chart. Milestone.
Okay.
Milestone means, for example, you are doing some work, and in the first phase, you need to complete the design phase. Then after that, you will go for the construction phase, then the inspection phase, or something like that. So there are something different. So after 3 months, you are saying that our design phase is complete. That means you are achieving one milestone,
Yeah.
right? And after, for example, 3 months or 6 months, you are saying that our construction is complete. There is another milestone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also the execute wants the milestone report. If
Mm-hmm.
they if they ask for something, you will give a very brief report, but it will give you the overview of your project.
Right.
Yeah, milestone is not an task. It's some kind of status update.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay, and I think I already uh, discussed this one. This is the logical sequence between direct and manage. Okay, so I will discuss this one with in the chart knowledge area.
Okay.
So in the direct and manage project work, this is the phase. So in this phase, we generate work performance data, and this data goes to the different phase, validate scope, control scope, some these all the uh,
Mm-hmm.
they generate the work performance information, and this information goes to the monitor and control project work, and they take their report and they generate the performance work performance report and
Mm-hmm.
send it to the integrated change control.
Okay.
Integrated change control means who are the senior level, they make
Mm-hmm.
decision based on the report. So there will be some status report, recommendation, memo, justification, uh, and these report also goes to the manage sorry, conduct communication phase.
Right.
We will discuss later, but this is the cycle. So work performance data, it is generated from the direct and managed project phases.
Okay.
Then information is generated in the validated scope, control scope, like this one, and this information goes to the monitor and control board.
Mm-hmm.
They produce a report, and this report goes to the perform change control,
Mm-hmm.
also the conduct communication, and through the process they distribute this report to the stakeholders.
Got it.